Today I'm going to do a review on the Cuma Tak-Ri 2.0 made by Tops Knives. It is designed by Waysun Tsai, who is a martial arts instructor and has been for about 25 years. He designed this knife to be a tactical and bush knife. It has the traditional shape of a normal khukri, but it has a little bit of other features as well that you'll find on a little bit more modern knives. On the back of the blade you have basically a back edge, and for fighting this is used for a second pass at swinging. So if you miss them or you want to cut them again, instead of having to flip your wrist, you can just bring your wrist all the way back and then cut them with the back edge. In a survival situation, it also serves as a backup blade, much like the Hawk's Hellion, where if you don't have a stone for improvised sharpening, you can always use the back of the blade for all your cutting tasks. On the main edge of the blade, there are a few serrations that are pretty unique to Tops, and I'm not sure how well these are going to do for whittling, but we'll see. The back of the blade has a pry bar, and it comes to kind of like a blunt point, and this is used for scraping or prying open doors, something that you wouldn't want to use a tip for. The handle scales are basically what makes this the 2.0 version. The first version had just a thin strip of black linen micarta, which reduced about an ounce of weight, but a lot of people didn't find them as comfortable, so they made it a 2.0 version with full-on scales. He also put in a spindle socket on both sides of the knife, so it's left hand and right hand friendly. On the top there's no jimping, but there is a small notch for your thumb, or you can use it for a notch for your finger if holding it in reverse for a back bar. Alright, so those are the features. Let's check out the specs. Overall length for this knife is 13.5 inches. The blade length is 7 inches with a top cutting edge of 4 inches. The blade thickness is 3/16 of an inch of 1095 high carbon alloy steel, which is protected by a black traction coating. The RC hardness is 56 to 58. The knife itself is 15.6 ounces, and the sheath alone is 6.4 ounces. The handle scales are black linen micarta with a white liner. So I'm going to take this knife through a few tests and show you what it's all about. So our first test, we're going to chop through this piece of cedar. Let's see, it's about 4 inches thick, and yeah, we'll see how it does. It's a khukri, so expect good things. The knife did pretty good, I would say. Weight forward again, and also the fact it's a little bit of a hefty blade helps out a lot. The grind on this is a little bit shallower than probably most 3/16 7-inch knives, and yeah, did pretty good. Now that we cut that wood, we're going to go ahead and split this into a few pieces. Because the back of the blade is sharpened, you can't baton there. Fortunately enough, there is this nice blank spot in the back of the spine. Now I did lose my rubber mallet, so we're going to be using the same baton that we used for the Hawk's Hellion video. So here we go. I found the world's biggest knot. So you can see these knots run all the way through, so we'll see how this does. I don't think it'll be too bad. Alright, so as you guys can see, the first split I did run into 1, 2, 3 knots, but because the knife and its angle of grind is really good, it was actually able to split those off pretty good. But it did manage to take off some of the traction coating, but there's still a lot left on the blade. So let's keep on going at it. During the test, the knife performed very well, especially considering that in the blueprints, the knife was originally designed as a combat knife and then was redesigned later on to be a camp and bush knife. Alright, so that split wood is ready to go burn, and the first thing we need to do to get that to burn is make a fuzz stick. And around here it's pretty common to do that because the fact that it's so moist around here, usually the only thing dry enough and small enough that you can burn is stuff that's inside of the middle of a log. So let's go at it. And this knife is pretty sharp out of the box, so it should do pretty good. And I'll even try using the back edge as well. The knife did pretty good on its main edge for making the fuzz stick. Let's go ahead and try the back side. The knife did pretty good at making a fuzz stick. The back portion of the blade is really good. A couple things that contribute to the success of this blade for whittling is the fact that it is 3/16 of an inch thick. It has a good balance of being sharp and also very durable as well. During testing, I was pleasantly surprised on how well this knife did, especially for a knife that's designed primarily for combat and then bushcraft and camp chores as a second option. The knife did really well. The 3/16 of an inch thick steel does a really good job at being robust, but also having a shallow enough grind to really get the sharpness you need for a lot of tasks. The back of the blade, although it's a little bit steeper for grind, is also still very sharp. It's polished, so there's no hang up on any material on the traction coating. The full size handle scales is also a really good addition, and the fact that it has two sides of spindle sockets. So left-handed users, you're in luck. But yeah, I think it's a very versatile tool, and you guys should check one out if you ever get the chance.